Hey YouTube, Mike the Renai guy here. How we all doing today? I hope we all had a safe and productive week. Okay, today's video is another video that entails a lot of questions that I've been getting, a lot of emails, a lot of comments, and that's what if you do not have an RUR unit, or that you installed, say, an RU unit and you want to have recirc. Now, my question is, since I put that video up about the HE Plus pump system, is can we use that for, say, an RU199 or an RU160? Something, again, that is not the RUR unit, that has the pump built into the bottom left-hand corner. And the answer to that question is no, you cannot. You cannot get the proper flow rate from it. So, though that pump system, the HE Plus pump system, is designed for the RL series unit. RL, not the V series. So that is the silver series, and it's the model number RL75 or RL94. Then you would be able to retrofit that and see my video back about 4 months ago on the piping and installation of that unit. Okay, now you have, say you have an RU unit. So again, I'm stressing this. It is not the one, the RUR unit. That is the one with the pump. So say you have an RU unit and you have a dedicated return line. You cannot put a thermal bypass on this system. And that's one of the questions about the HE Plus, because it comes with a thermal bypass, or you can not put the cap on and put a dedicated return line in. So no, you cannot. There is no way for the unit to register the back pressure when the thermal bypass valve closes, because again, if you remember from my video, again, go back to my video that shows the prop with the thermal bypass and the full explanation of it. There is a little piece of bimetal in there that will actually close off the thermal bypass. It sends pressure back to the unit, and then the unit will then shut down. So what you see here is if you have a dedicated return line. Now, I know a lot of you say, well, I have a basement. Can I run one? Yeah, if you can get to the farthest fixture, or if you can get to the fixture that is giving you the most trouble. Because remember, I said this on quite a few other videos. It may not be the farthest fixture. It may be another fixture, like just say you might have a pool bathroom, but you don't use that a lot. But you or your wife, don't want to be sexist now, are big cooks, and you use your kitchen sink tremendously. I've been getting that a lot, where people have like, listen, I use my sink, I gotta wait 4 or 5 minutes. I want it here. I don't want it in the guest bathroom. I don't want it in the pool bathroom. I want instant hot water in my kitchen. So that could be where you're gonna run your dedicated return line. So, I mean, I've even had, as far as last night, someone emailed me about this. So, and it was funny because today I was going to be doing this video. What you see here is if you have a dedicated return line and you have, say, an RU unit, or you could even get away with an RL, but when you have an RL, you would be better off purchasing the HE Plus pump system, because I think that it retails for like $7. You got to go through the supply house, $550, $575. I mean, one of these pumps alone is close to $300. So you see, and you're going to get the manifold. You're going to get the bypass hose. You're going to get the other manifold. You're going to get the little vacuum breaker. You're even going to get the controller, the MC195 or Wi-Fi. So we're getting off tangent here a minute. Okay, so we have an RU unit, and you have a dedicated return line. Now I'm going to take the camera off. I'm going to go through the whole thing. I got my dry erase board. We're going to go through the whole thing. So let's just make sure we're going good here. All right. But I'm going to take it off and go through everything. But since we're panned back, all right. First thing, we're going to go with the easiest pipe, again, of them all, is the hot water. Out of your, and yes, this is the wrong valve kit. Remember, we have a separate relief valve here. I know there's a relief valve there. It's the only one I had on my personal truck. So, out of the hot water, just right into the building. That's it. That's your piping there. For your cold water, out of the wall to a check valve. Again, spring-loaded check valve. Put your arrows on them. So it's going to be a spring-loaded check valve. Throw your arrows on so that you know the direction, just like I have here, drawn on that. So that's what it's looking, not the clapper, not the one that you could shake and listen to the sound. Okay, you want the spring-loaded because you could be put that in the horizontal or the vertical position. All right, check valve. Then a T, then up into your valve kit. Cold water is done. So now you got your hot, you got your cold done. All right, out of your T, you're going to have another check valve, arrow going up. These two check valves are going to prevent one, cold water from backing back down this, or the recirc water backing down that. You want the recirc to go in, you want the cold water to go in. So arrows, both arrows are facing the tankless, no matter whether they're horizontal or vertical, both arrows facing the tankless. Then use some type of stainless steel pump. Not an iron buyer pump, stainless steel. If you're paying $125 for the pump, you got the wrong pump. If you're paying $275, $300, you got the right pump. If the pump is a dark gray with silver flanges, you have the right pump. Now, Bell & Gossett makes one, Taco's make one, Grundfoss makes one. Grundfoss is the pump in the RUR unit. We like Grundfoss pumps, and I'm going to show you the plate why. All right, out of the bottom of the pump, you're going to have a valve, then you're going to have a drain, and then you're going to tie it into the recirc piping. All right, so let me take the camera off so we can show it all up close instead of panning the camera up and down, up and down. It's a hell of a lot easier this way. Okay, so again, hot water, right in. Cold water, check valve. See, there's your arrow. Your T up into your valve kit. Then from your return, you're going to have a drain valve. You're going to have a ball valve. Then you're going to have your pump. Then you're going to have another check valve. Again, arrow facing up into the T. All right. All right, let me get this camera back. Give me a second here. All right. Now, the reason for the valve and the drain is once you charge this up, water is going to go through the tankless, through the cold, through the hot, through the system, around the loop. It's going to come back to that return line. You want to shut this valve off. Then you want to put a hose bucket and you want to drain or bleed the loop. So you want to bleed the main loop all the way around the building. Once you get steady water, no more air, no more bubbles, there's a trick. You could take that hose and you could put it in the bucket of water and you can watch. You keep getting bubbles out of the water, it means you got air. Once that water, it stops and it's just churning, then you got no more. The easiest thing is just hold it above and watch it. Most of these houses, it takes about 2 minutes to drain, to bleed. Okay, you got all your air out. You're going to turn this valve back on. Now, some of you are going to say, why do you need the valve? Why don't you use the check valve? You don't want to use the check valve. You want to use a valve. Plus, if you have a problem with the pump, just say somewhere down the road the pump goes bad. You shut off that, you shut off the cold water, you shut off that, you could change the pump. So you shut the cold water off, you shut that, you can change the pump, and then just re-bleed it back again. If you want, you can add another valve right there. Then you don't have to shut the cold water off. But you don't want to use the check valve to hold the water back. Use that to hold the water back. Okay? All right, so now, there is your piping arrangement. Hot into the building, cold out, check valve, arrow up, T into your valve kit, around to another check valve, all arrows facing the unit, stainless steel pump, ball valve, drain, in. Now, why this Grundfoss? On these systems, there's two ways you could wire them. You could wire them and you could use it through the circ logic. I don't recommend that. If you're going to do this type of system, I'm going to show you using an Aquastat what that will do. But you're going to need to kind of understand what they call long loop and short loop. Like when you have the RUR unit, there's on a parameter it says long loop and short loop. The loop is the loop from the hot water all the way around back to that pipe. You're not gonna know what it is. You're gonna determine what it is. But if you look at this cover, you see here it says low, medium, and high. You adjust this for different speeds. And that is right here. So this cover corresponds with that white piece right here. Let me pan the camera in and you can see. You see right here, that white piece. So if you can determine, ooh, listen to me, that you're like a short loop, say 100, 150 feet, you could set this at low or medium. If you think you have a long loop, 200 feet or above, you can go to high. So again, it says low, medium, and high. And this is the plate that is right there. That covers the wires. All right, now, what do you want to do to control this pump? You don't want the pump to circulate 24 hours a day. You want something to shut off the pump. Now, on an RUR unit, it has built-in sensors. So, there's two ways you can go about it. And this is a Grundfoss clamp-on Aquastat. And this Aquastat, again, all model numbers, description below. This one is designed to register temperature off of CPVC. They make one that will register it off of copper and iron pipe. So what this thing does, and you're going to clamp it right here. So you see how it clamps on? See how it clamps on there? So this is a clamp-on Aquastat made by Grundfoss. They work quite well. So that's what it looks like. That's how much wire you get. It's 110 volt. There is no ground. It's just black and white, hot and neutral. All right? The other way you could do it is by using a Honeywell. Let me grab the box here so I could show you what it is. You can use a Honeywell Aquastat, which is an L4006A 1959. All you got to really know is the L4006A. Now, what this does is it does the same thing that Aquastat does, but it's a lot more sensitive. And what you're going to do is you're going to put it into a T. Now, you're going to put it into the run of the T, not into the bull. Because for one, you have to add more pipe and it doesn't sense. You want it in the run of the T, not the bull. So you do not want to use this T. And then the unit with the clips right here mount to this rim right here and gets inserted in. You lock it down and then you tighten up the screws. And as I say, Bob's your uncle. Now there is the controller that will sense when the water reaches, say, 110 degrees and shut the pump down. Both of these are acting like a switch. We're going to take the dry erase board. I'm going to show you. It comes with a tube or a packet of this heat sensitive grease. It's like ink. So be careful when you put it on, but you're going to put it onto this probe. And when it inserts and you lock this in, and this thing, once it's locked in, it won't move. It helps pick up the temperature of the water with this grease. Okay, so again, this is the Aquastat L4006A. You want to put this down here. So this elbow, you would replace it with the T and the Aquastat right there. So you want to sense that water coming up to the pump and then it'll shut down. All right, let me get the dry erase board and I'm going to show you how easy it is to wire. But first thing we'll do is we're going to go over the loop. So let's turn this camera to the dry erase board now. And let's get our, you like that? I built my nice having a wood shop. You can do a lot of building. Okay, so let's go over the Renai first. Here's your Renai. You have your cold water coming up, check valve, goes into the unit. So when you turn your valves on, the water's going to go all the way around, and all these little are your branch lines to different sinks. Comes back around and ends up near the tankless. You have another check valve. You have your pump, your valve, your drain, and then back in. So this is what you're pretty much going to determine long loop and short loop right here. That's your long loop and short loop. It will not hurt if you just leave that set at high. I leave mine set at high. So it's not going to hurt. But I have to explain it to you. All right, the wiring. We have our, let me grab my, what do I need here? Black, green, and blue. Black, green, and blue. All right. So this is your pump. And this is your Aquastat. And you have your probe right here. All right. What you're going to do is your neutral, your white. And I don't have white because white's not going to show up on a white dry erase board. So you're going to go right to this pump. Your green, you're going to go right to the pump. And I'm going to take the camera off. I'm going to show you the connections on the pump. And then I'm going to get up a screwdriver and show you the connections on the Aquastat. Now the black. If you're familiar with electrical and switches, you break the black. So basically, you're going to come down with the black into the Aquastat, out of the Aquastat, into the pump. So when the Aquastat, what's it called? It called break on rise. So when it reaches 110 degrees, it breaks the circuit and it shuts the power off to the pump. There's a differential. When it gets to, say, 80 degrees, it'll turn back on and start the circulation back again. So it'll keep the pump off maybe for 30 minutes. It could even be for an hour. But then it'll just keep cycling the pump back on and off. This is what you find in pretty much all hotels, large buildings, large restaurants, or very, very, very large homes. So your white into the pump, your I don't know why I put C when it was supposed to be G. Your ground into the pump, and then your black to the Aquastat, out of the Aquastat back to the pump. So let me take this off and show you. Now on this, right here, on this Aquastat, like I said, there is no ground. So basically, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to put some boxes in. You're gonna have to put some, you're gonna have to extend wire. But in this case, what you're gonna do is you're just going to bring these two here. This black and the white actually is this right here. So this right here is the actual piece. So you're gonna actually, this white will be black. If you buy this one, this white will be black. So you're just basically, this is your black wire to your black, and then from your white up to your pump. So just, like I said, you're gonna need to make you're gonna have to put a box somewhere. So just make this wire black again and go back up to the pump. So that when you look in the pump, or if someone else goes to service it, they'll see black, white, and green. But in here, you're gonna have a black and a white. But a lot of times, I know when my electricians did it, they just taped this over black. Because this is the two wires that are completing. When I open up the Aquastat, which I'll do right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me just grab a screwdriver here. Now you could set this Aquastat right from the front. You don't need to take the front cover off. Just a small screwdriver. On this Aquastat, you just have to tease two wires right here. You see, so you're putting two black wires to that. That already has it because it's molded on, and they put a black and a white. And then you would set this Aquastat up here to around 110 degrees. You would set the unit into the well, and by loosening those two screws right here, you see you have these two screws here and here. This thing will loosen and lift up, and it'll clip over the actual well. All right, let's take this off once more, and I'll show you what I am talking about at the pump. So you see here at the pump, you have your ground, your neutral, and your line voltage. All right? Okay. All right, so just to reiterate, hot to the building, cold check valve up into the valve kit, your T, check valve, pump. Also the pump, make sure there's arrow on the pump, go up in that right direction, make sure it's going up back into this unit. Your valve to shut off to do your loop bleed, your drain. And if you're going to use the clamp on, clamp it right here. If you're going to use your Aquastat, there's a T right here, and not a bullheaded T, you want it in the run. All right, YouTube? All right. I hope this answered everyone's questions on the separate recirc line on a non-RUR unit. Okay. All of the model numbers and yes, well, it will be 1, 2, 3 model numbers will be in the description below. Again, with my email. If you have a question, email me the question. You can, again, put it in the comments, but I still, on certain comments, I cannot answer them. I don't know what's going on. You can put it in with the comment, but send me an email, and I will get back to you. And if I can't answer it in the email, I send you my phone number. Okay, YouTube? I hope you enjoy this video. You all be safe out there, and I'll see you next week on the next video. Bye-bye now.